Namaskar. Hello. Excuse me. Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree. Iyer. Joining me today is General Ravi Shankar, and we talk about the ups and downs that's happening in Pakistan. 16 nuclear scientists go missing, 8 suddenly surface. Still, uranium is missing. What kind of uranium? Enriched to what percentage? All this and more. Let's find out from General Ravi Shankar. General Ravi Shankar, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Namaskar. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to be back on P Gurus. After all, it's our joint program between Ganesh Shot and P Gurus. Interesting times in Pakistan. There's never a dull moment out there. If it's not one,
Let,
it's two or three, four, five, whatever it is. It keeps happening out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, General Ravi Shankar, two things seem to have happened. N number of nuclear scientists missing, N by 2 have been recovered back, they say, and then they have not said anything about the uranium. Although the other side has claimed that we have uranium. What's the latest you have, sir? You have more years on the ground than I do.
No, really not yes, but if you just see what's happening, uh, it appears that all these 16, they're not scientists, they're workers of some varying degree. All the 16 of them were kidnapped or purported to be kidnapped. 8 have been released or have been, freed, whichever way you look at it. And there's something that some uranium is missing. But where were they kidnapped from? They were kidnapped from the uranium mines at Lucky Marwat. So that's raw uranium, right? So the TTP would have said that we have uranium. After all, it makes a lot of noise and
Yellow
PR
cake.
value, yellow cake. I don't think it's enriched in uranium by any stretch of imagination. Enriching uranium takes a lot. If they have enriched uranium, then they've infiltrated either Kahuta or Pakistan Institute of Nuclear Technology, PINTEC. So PINCH-Tech rather. So I don't think that has happened. This is raw uranium, and in a country like Pakistan, whatever uranium is mined out, anyway, there's a black market. Incidentally, all these metals, uranium, and all, they have huge black market. So that part of the black market which would be going on, and that black market is not something falling from the sky type. It is perpetuated by the Pakistanis only to line their pockets. You see, we should never underestimate the Pakistani general. He's as greedy as can be. So, and quite chalak at that. So he will do whatever he has to do to line his pockets. That has to be kept intact. So, and they've caught. Now the thing is that uranium is missing. 8 chaps are in their custody. Probably there'll be a deal. In a few days, someone will pay something and those chaps will be released. Something will happen. That's a normal thing. But the larger issue is this. The safety of the nukes and the complete nuke chain in Pakistan. That has come back into focus. And that is what we need to focus on. Are Pakistan's nuclear facilities, nuclear weapons, and the complete chain vulnerable? Very clearly after this incident, the answer is yes. People keep saying, oh no, Pakistan is a responsible country. Or, for them, nuclear thing means a lot and they'll keep it safe. There's no problem and all that. This incident has exposed that whole story. Okay. Oh, I'll have to go back 2007, 2008, 2009. There was a concerted effort by these terrorists, all kinds, who they tried to get hold of nuclear weapons, actually. There was a suicide attack outside a PF base, right near Sargoda. And we know Sargoda Air Base has nuclear weapons. and it was linked to the nuclear weapons. Then there was a bombing attack in 2008 in Wakant. And Wakant has a enrichment plant. Okay. I'm just giving you, these are facts. I'm not saying anything which is out of my head. 2009, people from the Kahuta Research Laboratory, their workers were attacked by a suicide bomber uh, somewhere, wherever it is. There was an attack on them. 2009, there is this Menas Air Base that was in Kamra that was attacked. And it was well known that in Pakistan, that base at Kamra has nuclear weapons. Okay. So besides this, in 23, as late as 23, if you remember, there was uranium found in London airport. Okay. And it was, uh, the whole finger pointed towards Pakistan. I'm putting things in perspective. Then that Ekikon network, it's confessed to selling nuclear secrets to Iran, North Korea, and Libya. Ekikon made a confession to this country. So all this has happened. So this is just one more incident in that line of things. So when people say that, look, the Pakistan, establishment or the nuclear establishment or the armed forces will keep the nuke safe. All these, if you put together, it gives you that feeling, no, those nukes are not safe. Now people say, okay, the next question is, if nukes are missing or nuclear fissile material is missing, whatever, who is at risk? That's the next question, who's at risk? If it falls, let me paint a lot of scenarios. Anything can happen. If it is a complete terrorist enterprise, they might just nuke some part of Pakistan or they might just nuke Rawalpindi. Who knows? And that could trigger a war. That's a different story. It could be, all this entire thing could have been stage managed by Pakistan Army. You'll ask me why? To make money. Now they will tell the whole world, see, my nukes are not safe, all that. So give us money, give us arms, equipment to keep them safe. I mean, there is no, people have shown for passports and all, but local deals can happen. People have been shown those identity cards of all these militants and all that, or the guys who have been captured or kidnapped, rather. It's been shown to say that as if it's been done by TTP. Who knows that Pakistan, these generals have instigated this whole affair? It's not beyond the realm of Pakistan. So then you'll say why? They'll tell China, they'll tell things are not, safe. So please give us money, please give us. So it's a form of a nuclear blackmail. And then they could also tell, these do a deal with TTP and all that, because they're under pressure from China to deliver on CPC, all that nonsense. They'll tell, okay, give a threat to China through ETIM or someone. Okay, that we have nuclear weapons and we're going to do something in Xinjiang or Tibet. Then China will come running back to Pakistan. So then, all these games are on. Nothing can be ruled out. Then people will say, no, all these missiles and rockets and all, what if it goes into the hands of TTP? Nothing will happen. What will TTP do with a rocket or a missile? You need a launcher, you need a system, you need a checkout system. So TTP is not fools, or rather, even Taliban are not fools. So that might not happen. But what can happen? This is dangerous. What I'm going to say now. is that in this process, over 2-3 stage processes, TTP or Taliban or some terrorist organization or ISIS or ISI, anyone, I mean, no one is can be left out, can get hold of enough fissile material to make a bomb, a suitcase bomb. I will say, where are the designs? There are enough cases of people who are radicalized in this nuclear establishment. How do you know those chaps are not sitting that side? So what if tomorrow a chap comes out with a suitcase bomb? That's the danger. So people will say, well, yeah, in India we can say, will it hit us? It will not hit us. You know why? Because if something like that happens, the first thing you will know is Pakistan will get hit. What happened later to India is later. First, finish them off. Whereas if something like this happens anywhere else, that will not be the reaction. So will Pakistan do that? They're not fools. They want to survive. They want power. Nuclear weapons give power. It'll give money. Everything is there. It is, it's a fungible source of power. It's not abstract. Using it against India won't give them power. Okay. So Pakistan will not. So, but using it against West, fully on the cards. Someplace. It could be in London. It could be here. It could be there, and all that. It could be anywhere. Right? The lone wolf attack. So there's a problem which the West has to take care of. China has to be aware. Both. Let me put it in this game, China is more at risk than India. People might not believe it. Okay. Now let me see. There is enough instability in Pakistan. Today, South China Morning Post says China is unhappy that ETIM people are, working in, these are the ID cards and all.
ID cards.
China's
Yeah, yeah.
ID cards. China is unhappy and it has expressed its unhappiness to the Syrian government. They don't put the ETIM people, commanders, as in their defense ministry. So as if someone will listen, no one listens to China in that part of the world anymore. At least now, we'll see later. The reason is the Uyghur people have been fighting as part of HTS. Okay. Now they got HTS help and Al Qaeda, contacts him, because all these fellows will keep loafing around from one end to the other. And what if they enter into Xinjiang? And what if they have already made a plan and enter into that area with some nuclear material or a bomb? So China has reason to worry of this development. If the Chinese are not worried, all the best to them. Okay. But they are worried. Already they are worried that ETIM has come. Now free uranium loafing around. You go into space debris loafing around. You've seen that movie Gravity, where space debris is loafing around. Something like that is happening here. Uranium is floating around unaccounted with these rascals. Okay. So that is China. Same thing can happen in UK, USA, anywhere. There's a movie, I don't remember the movie's name. It's where George Clooney is the hero, and in which a nuclear weapon gets hijacked in Russia by some terrorists, and they get it somewhere in Croatia or someplace, that weapon, and there they dismantle that weapon, and then make a backpack bomb, and go, and it is blasted in Washington or someplace. And of course, the hero saves the thing in the end and all that. That's a different story. But
Yeah,
that whole
peacemaker.
Peacemaker, yes. Now, if you see that movie, that chain is quite alive here. But chain is quite alive here. That movie is a nice piece of imagination. At least there, that train which was hijacked had guards, ye wo. Idhar to kuch nahi hai. Half the guys who are in the Pakistani nuclear establishment could be TTB guys in disguise. Already, already they would have been subverted with, false allegiance. We don't know. So I think my personal view is, as much as the situation has to be seen beyond all this. Okay, this is the nuclear angle, but look at Pakistan otherwise. What's happening in Balochistan? Till yesterday, uh, there's this case where the Baluch Liberation Army took over a post and Pakistan Army couldn't react. So many people have been getting bumped off. The Chinese are getting bumped off in Balochistan. Okay, they're having a field day. What's happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? Whole lot of nonsense going on every day. In fact, today I was reading in Dawn. This is Dawn News. Okay, the number of casualties in just in 24 is something to the tune of 2.5 compared to earlier. The number of casualties and the number of attacks are just double, tripled over the past few years. Escalation is huge, no control. Now that's with Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On that is with TTP. Then I saw a video in Twitter by this man was a pediatrician. Huh? He is part of the Pashtun Taffuz movement. Now the Pashtun Taffuz movement is slightly a left-leaning movement, but that's okay. They're peaceful. And Pakistan has banned them. And they have sorted out all their leaders. Ye wo. That fellow comes out and says, whatever you guys are now doing, we're going to sort you out. He's telling Pakistan and the agencies and media and all that. He says from hereafter, from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, you will not get one guy for your army. That's a sentiment. In that belt of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Pak army has lost its, what shall I say? Its footing. That's the simplest word I can put across. Lost its footing. There's no respect. There was a time when Pakistan's army ran everything more than the government, but that's gone. So in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Pakistan army, I'm talking about the Pakistan army, the government is irrelevant. Ye jo Shahbaz Sharif and all are just about errand boys for Asim Munir. So the Pakistan army is not able to take on the TTP on one end, and it has scotched Pashto Taffuz movement, which is a peaceful kind of a system. Instead of talking to them and both getting after TTP, they're not able to do anything against BLA. Then you look at Kurram, where there's Shia's Sunni riots. These are some of the worst riots which Pakistan has faced in recent history. And it's not done, it's on. So now there's a third layer of insecurity or instability in that Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. Again, today's news or yesterday's news. So some chaps in Gilgit-Baltistan say we won't pay taxes. Forget it. You do what you want, we'll not pay taxes. In JNK, POJK, people are on the streets. So virtually, if you see the rimland of Pakistan is in complete instability. Complete state of instability with no control by anyone. Every guy's writ is running large. How will this state continue for long? Will it continue? I wish it continues. Because if it continues like this, they'll not look this side. They don't have time. Will this economy revive? Out of question. Will politically, will it stabilize? Out of question. Till such time Imran Khan is in jail, this politics won't revive. If Imran Khan is out of jail, Asim Munir has to go into jail or something like that. So Imran Khan is not going to let Asim Munir go. So that won't happen. One of them has to be in jail or something like that, something equivalent of that. So there is internal instability, external instability. No one bothers about Pakistan. Their nukes are at risk, and I would not say simple risk. They're a complete nuclear chain. I'm not talking nuclear weapons. I'm talking about the complete nuclear chain is at risk. That's what this incident has this thing. And this is a big escalation from TTP. If TTP has done, it's a big escalation. They've simply thrown the gauntlet down to Pakistan. So far, there is no khabar whether these chaps are going to be given back or not, what negotiations are going to take place. And I don't think Pakistan armed forces, nothing, there's no talk. It appears as if this has never happened. So this is a case of utter chaos. So in this utter chaos, what do we do? Indian options are very clear. We just do nothing at this point of time. If they try something against us, we should be ready to hammer them. And hammer them unequivocally. Period. That's where we are. Now, but these loose nukes, the chances of loose nukes floating around is not the best option. So, in the least, what's the minimal thing we do? I mean, everything has a minimum case and a maximum case, or a short term or a long term. Short term, you keep monitoring. You need to liaise with Pakistan from international agencies, not us. US and China have to get together and act. They have to sit together and say, look, what can we do with this whole story? Because it affects both of them. And their credibility is at stake if this goes on. And then you prepare for the worst. You prepare a QRF, YEVO to, if there's a mishap or a leak or something like that which happens. Because this is not going to end. If nothing is done on this is not going to end. So you can only be defensive in this case. If China and US can't do much, then, well, this will go to the next level. Next level, anybody know? We don't know where it goes. It's a dangerous situation, not a simple situation. But I'm sanguine that they'll not turn towards India because neither will the TTP be interested nor a lone wolf be interested. If that happens, remember there's some hand which is trying to instigate war. So we have to think through this. Our mandarins in the MOD and in the DAE will have to sit together. I hope they're sitting together. Like you and I are discussing, they also need to sit and discuss. What do we do? What are our options? Of course, there is one issue which I'm very clear of. And I spoke of this 2 years back. 2 years back, I spoke of this when that May 9 incident happened, and some of their nuclear establishments were under risk. What did I say then? I said it's time to Ukrainize Pakistan. What happened with Ukraine? When the Soviet Union broke up, Ukraine had a lot of nukes, right? And some say they gave it up willingly, some they said they were forced and to give up, and all their nukes went to Russia. And Ukraine was left with no nukes. So is there a case for us to motivate the international, actors to say, look, let's Ukrainize Pakistan. Let's neutralize Pakistan and defang Pakistan. Okay, if Pakistan has to be given money for it, so be it. If Pakistan has to be developed, so be it. Take their nuclear weapons off and account for them. Some might say, no, no, oh, Pakistan, they're rotten guys. If they have 170 nuke, they'll give up 165, but they'll still keep 5 and blackmail because 5 is good enough for blackmail. 5 nahi to 10 is good enough for blackmail. You'll never know. Or they'll give 170 and manufacture 20 more. And that kind. After all, Pakistanis, you can never trust them. So then what? Then the question is, how do you thwart that? For that, you need to have punitive measures. If Pakistan does something like that, just forget any kind of aid and there'll be retribution. So all this has to be done. But who will do it? Who will bell the cat? India, in its own interest, must start talking of this. I find it very strange that many people don't talk of this. Within Pakistan, there will be tremendous pressure or other pushback to say, we will not give up our nuclear weapons. See what happened to Ukraine. If Ukraine had nuclear weapons, Russia would have not dared to attack Ukraine. Since they didn't have, that's it. But then I think Ukraine and Russia situation is far different. There, Ukraine gave it up willingly. Here, you have to force Pakistan and give it away. Make it a normal country. Mind you, this is going to be difficult because you have Iran, which is also going to become nuclear on one fine day. Am I asking for a big ask? Probably. But as an Indian, this is my viewpoint. Unless we put across our viewpoint in the international forum and say, look, this is the danger of this entire story, where will we get a response? So these are the major issues in this. Again, I reiterate, 16 guys being kidnapped or 8 being kept and 8 being released. These are very minor issues. But I'm more, or some uranium missing, we don't know, is minor. But the major issue is, look, anything to do with Pakistan's nuclear fissile material or bombs or technology or blueprints or anything in that chain is at risk. And like I again reiterate, this is not the first time. 2002, 2008, 9, there were about 5, 6 of them. Then we had the AQ Khan smuggling network. This, right, uranium being found in 23 in London airport, which was traced back to Pakistan. So there's some unholy thing happening. And also look at this. Look at I'm going to bring this grooming gang business here. Look at this UK. They imported Pakistan by the droves, gave them, citizenship, all that. What is happening? These Pakistanis have gone there and they're raping those girls, minors. So at some point of time, the Western world and, especially this Gora log should understand they have reared a snake which can only bite them. Hillary Clinton's, that famous quote, if you rear snakes, in your backyard, there's no guarantee they'll not bite you. The same thing I'll go back to these white fellows, Goras. They've always preferred the Pakistanis over everyone else. So fine. That Pakistani is going to rape your daughters. Welcome. At least it's only a snake, no? It'll bite you and you die. You don't know. But what do you do with your daughter who's going to get raped by 20, 30 people or get trafficked out? You have to live with that. So is this the Pakistan you want to encourage to come into your bedrooms or drawing rooms or houses? So I think there's a larger issue as far as Pakistan is concerned, which we have to handle at the international level. I mean, we are looking at you. You could even ask Saudis to get into the deal, right? Yeah, Heathrow Airport. Yeah, I'm glad this has come up. 23. So I think that's the thing. I leave it here. Any questions, Shreyaji, will take it on. And in case you have to
Uh,
leave, you can leave. I'll handle the questions.
yes, I have to duck out for from here on. I will just leave one thought, General Ravishankar.
Yeah.
How easy is it to track uranium? Like, for example, yellow cake. I mean, even yellow cake has Geiger. It'll show up on a Geiger counter that there is some decay, radioactive decay.
Yeah, it will. It's a radioactive material. It will show up. Okay. It can be smelt out also by dogs. I mean,
Oh, I see.
tracking it through official methods is not a big deal. But the guys who are handling the and in the,
There.
I mean,
Hmm.
they know how to go through. After all, that AQCAN network. After all, that network, where it was run from where? It was run from Pakistan by
Right. Right.
Pakistanis. People, that network might have fallen apart, but the guys are there. They'll put it back in the jiffy. It was a
Right.
huge smuggling network. They even brought out some things from Denmark and things like that. And it is not one way. It's a multi thing, and it is one of its kind. So the world has to just think: what are you going to do with this Pakistan? Is it every time he says, "Oh, I'll shoot myself in the head"? Yeah, kar lo na, mar jao. Shoot yourself in your head, and you load few bullets also more into it so that he doesn't miss his head also, or something like that. Okay. I also see Pakistanis who come on my channel because these days incidentally for everyone who on both P Gurus and Pakistan, Gunner Shot, I must say, these days Gunner Shot gets more comments from Pakistanis than Chinese. Okay. Because they feel that, look, here is a guy who's, exposing them. I can see one chap, haha, funny Indians and all. That is useless Pakistanis, Katora Khans. You don't know where you're going to beg your next meal from. These are the beggars of the world. Pakistanis are the ultimate beggars of the world. Okay. So anyway, we'll take. And I'd like to reply to some of these beggars. So I have no problem. Yeah, all yours.
Yeah. So at this point of time, we will go into Q&A, and I have to duck out,
Yeah.
viewers. But
Yeah,
General
please go ahead.
Ravishankar will take the questions. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, sir.
I'll take off.
Namaskar.
Oh, welcome anytime. Yeah, see, this is normal. No one wants Pakistanis. That's the issue. So, and yeah, I completely go with what's being put out here. They can be, the worst kind. Okay, professional beggars. Yeah, Saudi Arabian. Many people call them professional beggars. So that's what they are, and I'm sure the Pakistanis are seeing this in good light. And it's a mirror to all of them.